by R.H. Charles. Chapter 1. Parable of Enoch on the future lot of the wicked and righteous. Chapter 1. The words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, the righteous man whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angels showed me, and from them I heard everything, and from them I understood, as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one, which is to come. 3. Concerning the elect I said, and took up my parable concerning them. The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling. 4. And the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. 5. And all shall be smitten with fear, and all the watchers shall quake. And great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth. Verse 6. And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall be made to melt like wax before the flame. Verse 7. And the earth shall be wholly rent in sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be a judgment upon all men. Verse 8. But with the righteous he will make peace, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them, and they shall all belong to God, and they shall all be prospered, and they shall all be blessed. And he will help them all, and light shall appear unto them, and he will make peace with them. Verse 9. And behold, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoke against him. Chapter 2. Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they all rise and set in order, each in its season, and transgress not against their appointed order. Verse 2. Behold ye the earth, and give heed to the things which take place upon it, from first to last, how steadfast they are, how none of the things upon earth change, but all the works of God appear to you. Verse 3. Behold the summer and the winter, and how the whole earth is filled with water, and clouds, and dew, and rain lie upon it. Chapter 3. Observe ye and see how in the winter all of the trees seem as though they had withered and shed all their leaves, except 14 trees, which do not lose their foliage, but retain the old foliage from 2 to 3 years, till the new comes. Chapter 4. And again observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth, over against it, and you seek shade and shelter by the reason of the heat of the sun, and the earth also burns with growing heat, and so you cannot tread on the earth, or on rock by reason of its heat. Chapter 5. Verse 1. Observe ye how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Wherefore give ye heed, and know with regard to all of his works, and recognize how he that liveth forever hath made them so. Verse 2. And all his works go on, thus from year to year forever, and all the tasks which they accomplish for him, and their tasks change not, but according as God hath ordained, so it is done. Verse 3. Behold how the sea and the rivers in like manner accomplish, and change not their tasks, from his commandments. Verse 4. But ye have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Lord, but ye have turned away and spoken proud and hard words with your impure mouths against his greatness. O ye hard-hearted, ye shall find no peace. Verse 5. Therefore shall ye execrate your days, and the years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in eternal execration, and ye shall find no mercy. Verse 6. And in those days ye shall make your names in eternal execration upon all the righteous, and by you shall all who curse, and all the sinners and ungodless shall imprecate by you. 7. And for you, the godless, there shall be a curse. 16. And all the, and the word that probably most likely is in there, should say the righteous ones, shall rejoice, or holy ones. And there shall be forgiveness of sins, and every mercy and peace and forbearance. G. There shall be salvation unto them, a goodly light. I. And for all you sinners there shall be no salvation. J. But on you all shall abide a curse. 7a. But for the elect there shall be light and joy and peace. B. And they shall inherit the earth. 8. And then there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom, and they shall all live and never again sin, either through ungodliness or through pride. But they who are wise shall be humble, and they shall not again transgress, nor shall they sin all the days of their life, nor shall they die of the divine anger or wrath, but they shall complete the number of the days of their life. And their lives shall be increased in peace, and the years of their joy shall be multiplied, in eternal gladness and peace all the days of their life. Chapter 6. Verse 1. And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. Verse 2. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. Verse 3. And Samuel, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not intend to agree to do this thing, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered to him in verse 4, and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Verse 5. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. Verse 6. And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. Verse 7. And these are the names of their leaders: Samyaza, their leader; Erekabah, Ramael, Kokabel, Tamiah, Ramiah, Danel, Ezekiel, Ereko, Asael, which is probably Azazel, Amaros, Batarel, Ananiah, Sakiel, Sapisio, Satarel, Turel, Shamia, Sauriel. These are the chiefs of the tens. Chapter 7. Verse 1. And all the others together with him took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them, and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. Now this is where you get the start of your Greek tales, my friends. And that's where the women get involved. And if you notice, it says they all chose for himself one. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. Verse 2. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells. It's about 300 feet tall, people. Verse 3. Who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them, and devoured mankind. Verse 5. And they began to sin against birds. These are the mighty men of renown. And beasts, and reptiles, and fish, and to devour one another's flesh, and to drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against them, against these lawless ones. In verse 6. Chapter 8. And Azazel taught men to make swords, and knives, and shields, and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth, the art of working them, and the bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. Verse 2. And there arose much godliness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray. Godlessness, not godliness. Godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Samuel taught enchantments and root cuttings. Amaros, the result of enchantments. Arakio, astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arekiel, the signs of the earth. Semsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. Chapter 9. Verse 1. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven, and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. Verse 2. And they said one to another, The earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. Verse 3. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men, make their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of thy ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Verse 5. Thou hast made all things, and hast power over all things, hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight, and thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Verse 6. Thou seest what Azazel has done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. Verse 7. And Samuel, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. Verse 8. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and they have slept with the women, and they have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. Verse 9. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. Verse 10. And now behold, the souls of those who died are crying, and making their suit straight to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease, because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. Verse 11. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them. And thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these? Chapter 10. Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spake. And he sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, let me pause there, and let me address something. And a recent retold ancient tale called the Epic of Alchahassus, which comes from the Sumerians, and then went to the Babylonia and then Akkadian generation. Now, I want you to realize that they have this story about Zeus, Sadra, Root, and Apishna. That is the same person as Noah. But the person they say that sends him, they claim, is Enki. Now, Enki is called the Lord of Earth. He's also known by his servant Isamud as a defiler of children, into pedophilia and such, and blah, blah, blah. And he was sleeping with, guess what? Ninhursag. Ninhursag was what you would consider, she was like an earthly, this is what that's how they got the gods and the goddesses, these wives that they had chosen, like the ones that they chose. They each got one, and they all were pretty dominant in their times, just for a moment anyway. These are the mighty men of renown. But anyway, Enki is Azazel. Same dude. So I wanted you to be aware of that and know that they try to twist the story, because right here it tells you clearly that Uriel is sent. That's the good holy angel, not Enki. And if you read before they switch around, that's a lot of people don't understand why we even went to Iraq. It was mostly to get over the history before it got to you, the truth. But it's all about fallen angels, my friends, and Nephilim and their children and their spirits, the evil spirits of them. And I beg you to find out more about this. It's not something that can wait. Okay? Anyway, I've been telling this to this lady. She's not hearing me. It's going on a month now, and she's still just kind of, oh, well, I just, how do you think that? No, you don't understand. This is not something that waits. You didn't heed my warning, and you're going to probably end up suffering under it. So I want you guys to be aware of that too, that don't look at me as a regular Joe, though. Of course, I'm still a human being, and I mess up, and I don't, I am nowhere to being perfect. But I did have a special event happen to me, so I would heed my warning a little bit better than what most people do. Dying clinically dead, which is very provable, and everybody that's checked it has seen that. And that's why I kind of don't understand why they don't take this serious, when I talk to them about this. But anyway, I won't go further into that. We go back into the book. We go into verse 1. Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, 2, verse 2, go to Noah, to Sadra, Root, and Apishna, and tell him, in my name hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. Verse 3, and now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world. Verse 4, and again the Lord said to Raphael, bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him in the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Judea, and cast him therein. Now I want you to know where that is. It's in Antarctica. That would coincide with the reason why Buzz Aldrin came back not too long ago on an emergency life flight, claiming that there was a great evil down there that the world needed to be aware of, and I guess he was flipping out big time about it. Well, guess what? That's where Azazel's at. And that's who they answer to. He's the master that they talk about all the time. He's the angel over them, the Apollo. That's who Apollo is, Abaddon. It's the angel, yes. This is because the Bible has been edited, and great scripture, about as pure as you can get, has been retracted like this. People don't fall for it. You will know the voice of God. So that's all I have to say. You'll know the voice of God. And I think you'll understand what I'm saying. So I'm not going to sit here and pick and choose and tell you. I don't judge people like that. I can tell sometimes, but I don't treat people. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I want you to know that, and I don't accuse openly, and I never bring out accusations against another, especially out publicly. That's not my job. It's God's. He made that clear about revenge. Anyway, so we get back into verse 4, and again the Lord said to Raphael, bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him in the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Judea, and cast him therein. 5, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see light. Now, people also realize why temples are made and for PowerPoints and what they do. I want you to do some research on that. See how you go shooting past the firmament. It's where you get your plan is. You'll get it eventually. wandering stars. And on the day of the great judgment, they shall be cast into the fire and heal the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. And to Gabriel said the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth, send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have, and no request that they make of thee shall be granted on their fathers on their behalf. For they hope to live in eternal life, and each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said unto Michael, go bind Semyaza and his associates, who have been united themselves with women, so as to defile themselves with them in their uncleanness. Verse 12. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, to the day of their judgment and their consummation, to the judgment that is forever and ever, is consummation. And in those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment of the prison in which they are confined, and shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with him to the end of all generations. And destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end, and let the plan of righteousness and truth appear. And it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. And then shall all the righteous escape, and they shall live till they beget thousands of children. And all the days of their youth and their old age they shall complete in peace. Verse 18. And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees and be full of blessing. And all desirable trees be planted, and they shall plant vines in them. And the vine which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure shall bear 1,000. And each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And to cleanse the earth, and cleanse all the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and the uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth. Destroy it from the earth. Verse 21, and all the children of men shall become righteous. Do you notice that? It says, all the men shall become righteous. That means you will be translated. There are very good sections of the Bible still together that put things together well, and is never a book to destroy evidence. But at the same time, I want you to realize who the Word is. It's Christ himself, not something we can pick up and read. And trying to get through to certain people they're not really I think they are at times, and then they go right back in and say, and so they get into the Word again, and they do it, and they don't get it. It's like, I want to just kind of smack them. Like, what part of this do you not understand? Christ made it clear that man will corrupt everything. So therefore, do not call that the Word. It is not the Word. Christ is the Word. Okay? So stop it. All right. Offer adoration. See how we are trained from the beginning, people? Yes. You're indoctrinated right at birth on all kinds of crap. Everything you've been taught is a lie. I'll tell you that right now. All your history. Yep. Especially your recent history. Yeah, it's more far off than your distant. You'd think it'd be the other way around. No, it's gotten that bad. And then, yes, and cleanse thou, and all the children of men shall become righteous, and all the nations shall offer adoration and shall praise me, and all shall worship me. Not me, you know that, but like I'm God. He's speaking in first person. And the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation and forever. Okay, that works for me. That's all right. Anyway, so we go back into chapter 11. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in heaven, so as to send them down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And the truth and peace shall be associated together through all the days of the world and throughout all the generations of men. Thank you, my friends. That was part 1 of a part 3 series of the Book of Enoch. Hope you enjoyed the first section. Tomorrow we will release the second. Thank you. Have a great day. Yeah.